Hello and welcome back to this channel. My name is Zoe. In today's video I want to show you the mid-year freakout tag. So I read the questions, I thought about some answers, and I will provide you with these answers today. Okay, let's start right ahead. So this should be a short fun book video. So the first question is best book you've read so far in 2023. I have a lot of 5-star this year. A lot of them are rereads. So I tried to just tell you books that I read new, not a reread, and just books that I enjoyed this year. And I couldn't decide really, so I show you both of the books and then you can decide which one you want to read if you want to listen to my recommendations. This is the other thing, if you want to listen to me. So I have two. The first one is a book that I read in January. It's Lessons in Chemistry by Garmus, and I really enjoyed the book. It's about a woman in the 60s and she loves science and she works at this company, and on the workplace she fell in love with a guy, but she didn't want to get married, and she ended up being a single mother that had a child that was not created in a marriage. So she lost her job and she ends up getting this TV show where she cooks for other women and shows them how they can cook. And yeah, so this book was first of all really funny. I liked Elizabeth Zott as a character. I liked how she saw the world and how Bonnie Garmus wrote her character, and also the relationship with Calvin, the co-worker that's standing on the back, and how the story evolved in the end. This was a 5-star read. There are a lot of trigger warnings in the book, as sexual assault, rape, and all that kind of stuff. Sexism is really high in this book. I mean, the book is in the 60s and is a woman that works in science field, so obviously these things are in the book. So, and if you not really want to read this, I have a more a different book that I really loved, and this is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I really enjoyed the book. I gave this also 5-star. I cried while reading this. It also has dark topics. Just look them up if you want to know, because I think these things are just a spoiler. I wish someone had told me that in Lessons in Chemistry these kind of trigger warnings are in the book before I started reading it, and I'm just writing with it. For this I don't want to tell you, because I don't think these are not that happy, the trigger ones, but still look them up. Happy Place is about Harriet and Wynne. They were an engaged couple for a couple of years and then they broke up. But they haven't told their friends, and they're in this friend group, and every year in the summer they travel together at this beach house and spend the summer together. And this year is a special year because it will be their last summer doing this together. And so Wynne and Harriet decide to fake date on this trip to destroy the fun and experience they all have. And you follow now Wynne and Harriet, how they are in a current situation. This thing is, I really like the build up in the book, how Emily Henry wrote it, that you will read from Wynne and Harriet in the past, but how they get to know each other, how they started dating, how they moved in the first time together and all that stuff. And you also read from the current situation, and I really like this back and forth especially my romance book, especially if it's like a second chance romance. Forget the fake dating for a moment, it's more second chance romance. And I love it. The books are created like this because they give me more depth into the relationship that they both had. And I cried while reading this in the end, especially. And not only you will read about Wynne and Harriet in a relationship and how they try find back together, you also read about the relationships with the friendships with the friends and how they found together and what they experienced together. And I think it's really cute and I really love it. And yeah, these are my two recommendations of the best books I read so far this year. Best sequel you've read so far in 2023. So I also tried to think about a new book that I read and not a book that I reread. And I really liked Heartless by Siver. This is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series. You follow in the story the brother from the first couple, from the first male love interest in the first book, and the best friend of the brother's love interest. Can you follow? Okay. And it's a single dad romance book, and I know that I originally wanted to read the series just for that book, not for the first book. I gave the first book 4 stars, but the Heartless, I gave 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. It was really fun, and I'm glad I read it. And yeah, it was really fun and sweet, and I really loved it. So then the third question is new release you haven't read yet but you want to. One book that is on my mind that I still want to read and haven't touched yet is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. I have it here since the release date. I picked it up immediately after it was out and haven't read it yet, and it's really short, so I don't know even why I didn't. But I'm glad I didn't see any spoilers so far. I really want to go read the series because I really like the original series, The Folk of the Air. So yeah. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. My list of second half year releases is short. I think I have 2 books on the list. Honestly, I was a little bit confused. Okay, one book that I'm really excited about is the book A Soul of Ash and Blood from Jennifer Armentrout. This is Blood and Ash book 5 out of the perspective from Castile, and I have no idea how that really fits in. And I'm really excited for the book. And this book is will be released on the 18th of July 2023 according to Goodreads. I have it as my list. And one book I also have on my list is another JLA release, and this is Visions of Flesh and Blood, and I think this is... Wait. I don't know. There are 3 releases in the from Blood and Ash world this year, still this year, and wait. Visions of Flesh. Here. Visions of Flesh and Blood, a Blood and Ash Flesh and Fire Compendium, 5.5. But oh, this got pushed back to February next year, so it's not in October anymore. I don't know what's going on in there. I don't want to read it. And then I also have A Fire in the Flesh, which is I think the third book. Yeah, the third book in the Flesh and Fire series is the prequel to the From Blood and Ash series. And yeah, this is the release date on the 31st of October this year. Okay, Visions of Flesh and Blood got pushed back, but these 3 books I have on my list that I still want to read. Biggest disappointment actually is Klara and the Sun. I made a full review on it, and I was in a live show with Lucy and we talked about this book, and honestly I just expected more of the book. Everyone was raging about this, that this was so good, this is the best book that I've ever read. I only heard positive things. It was not bad. I just want to clarify this. This was not a 1-star book and I DNF'd it. It was just not that good as I thought it would be. So this is everything I want to say about this, except for that this is Klara, and Klara is a KY, a Joshua friend, and she got to this family and a few secrets because her human friend is sick, and you try to find out how to cure them. Then biggest surprise, what I put down for this one, biggest surprise, yeah, for biggest surprise, this is a book that I read in May. And this is Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead by Emily R. Austin. And I saw this book recommendation from Jack Edwards, and normally he reads only contemporary books, and I'm not that big of a fan of contemporary because in most of the time it's just an unsatisfying feeling for me afterwards when I read books like this. So I started reading this because it was my audiobook subscription, and I thought it was really fun. You follow there Gilda, and she has anxiety and she doesn't want to acknowledge that she has anxiety. So she gets to back and forth from the ER because she thinks she has a heart attack, and the doctor says, no, you have a panic attack. So the actual description of the anxiety disorder was really great. I liked it, how it was described, especially for the description of how a panic attack feels like. I felt seen, like this is how I also feel when I have a panic attack. And then Gilda's also gay, and she is in a relationship with a woman, and then she starts working for the church, for a Catholic church, even though she's not baptized and obviously she's gay. So she tried to hide that so she can keep the job, and the old receptionist that worked there before that died under suspicious circumstances. And you follow now one thing, Gilda's journey, accepting that she has anxiety, Gilda's relationship with this woman, and the murder mystery that's also going on. And this was all in a really funny way. It was not like that was a joke after joke after joke. It's just more like the mental illness description and how she reacted to things and so on, and things like that. It was funny for me because I was like, damn, I was like this. If you're having a mental illness and you're reading it and how it reacts, sometimes it's just funny. Like, how do you end up in these situations where you really don't want to be and you're trapped in that? And I thought it was funny. So I thought it was hilarious. I wrote it. This was the only Gilda is so funny. But I think if other people read this and they don't have anxiety, I don't think they will find it that funny. So, favorite new author, Elsie Siver, with the Chestnut Spring series. This was a big surprise for me. I had a hard time really finding someone who would say, okay, this is my new favorite author. I think favorite is just a little bit too much. I need to read more from that author to really say this is an author buy for me. With the Chestnut Spring series, I think it was fun. I want to read the rest of the series. I know she has published a few other series, but I downloaded one because it's in KU for me. Chestnut Spring series is not in KU for me, but I haven't read it yet, and I actually returned it to download another book. So I will not say she's that newest favorite for me, but I will keep an eye out of it. And I will read the rest of the Chestnut Spring series because I know I'm invested. I'm 4 books deep in, and I want to know how it ends for all the characters that are in this world, okay? So then one author that I also enjoyed the book is Lana Ferguson. I read the Nanny and I really liked it. I liked her writing style, I liked how the story was built up, and also like the third artwork. It was not toxic, it was cute, it was fun to read, and I will definitely have an eye out if she publishes more. Yeah. I'm also really a sucker for these tiny little comic prints on the cover. Okay, then newest fictional crush. So hold on. I am a sucker for I like the pregnancy trope, okay? I say it like it is, and I like kids involved in the story. If it's a single dad, single mom series and they fall in love again. I like these kind of books, okay? It's hard to find good ones out there, but 3 books that are out for me, and I want to say 3 characters that I really liked. And this was, first of all, was Heartless, Kate. I literally wrote down next to Heartless as ever. I just have 2 descriptions in my book journal. It's Kate, Daddy, Villa, Mommy, I'm on my knees. I don't want to say it's about me, but I really like Kate. I really liked how he acted as a single dad in the story, and also with Villa and what continued to happen in the story. I liked how this ended. Then we have Reckless. This is also in the Chestnut Springs. This is the newest release, by the way. This was out in June. And I really liked Theo. I really liked how he was immediately in when I really hated him for the first couple of pages because I thought the worst of him. So my surprise that he was not the worst of all men was great, and I was like, Theo, I was a cheerleader. I was just a cheerleader for Theo in winter. I liked how he accepted the actions of his consequences in the book and how the story turned out. And also one book that I finished a couple of days ago is Babymoon or Bust. This is a one-night stand story that ended up in a pregnancy, and they didn't have any context because they didn't share the names with each other, where they're from, or the phone numbers, and through some circumstances he find out, Solomon is his name, that Tessie is pregnant, the woman that he slept with. And I also liked how he acted in the story. It's just my favorite characters are characters that are acted like human beings and are here for the actions of the consequences and just being the father that they need to be. Maybe it's just my daddy issues that speaks out of me, and the lack of commitment my father gave me in my childhood, that these men stand out for me if they're actually doing something what they should be doing. It's just a basic human being, and it's just the bare minimum, and I am glorifying that. I don't know what it needs to say about me. Maybe I should go back to therapy, but yeah, this is a different story. Newest favorite character. So favorite character, I have one, and this is go back to the roots of the video. Elizabeth from Lessons in Chemistry. I liked her character. She was really dry in her responses, and like really rational, and thought really about what she is about to say, and I really liked her. She was a really great character, and I love to read about her. Maybe I should reread this. I have so much to read. Okay, the next question is book that made you cry. A lot of books made me cry. Okay, we go from the least. I have 3 books for this list, okay? 2 new releases for this year, and 1 that was a reread for me because I couldn't let it out. The book that made me less cry, but still made me cry, and I want to mention it, just to justifying my first answer, is Lessons in Chemistry. I cried, okay? There are a few scenes in the book that I really cried, and I cried also a little bit of the anger that I felt of what happened to Elizabeth in the story. I cried because of it, okay? Cry. Big cry. I'm a crying baby. I'm a Cancer, and I'm June Cancer. Be crying a lot, okay? Happy Place. Cried, okay? I really, tears streaming on my face. One book, and you actually have video footage out of it, how I ugly cried for the book, and I can't let this out because it was amazing, is Mockingjay from Suzanne Collins, the 3rd book in the Hunger Games series. I cried for 1.5 hours straight, really snorting everything, 3 paper tissue boxes full of crying. Yeah, my boyfriend was actually concerned because I didn't stop crying because of the book. It was that great. Obviously, the book is out for a long time now. If you haven't read it yet, why? It's actually so good. Okay, but yeah, obviously here are 2 new releases and this one. But yeah, this is what I can remember. I forgot to fill out one question. Book that made you happy. Okay, this might be a wide guess, but book that made me happy was Hellbent, just because we finally have the Hellbent in our hands, and we can finally continue to read the series of Alex Stern and what happened to Darlington. Okay, wide stretch, but this book made me happy, just for the fact that it's finally here. So the next question is, most beautiful book you've bought, received so far this year. Okay, I already showed this in my blog, but I need 2 hands for this. This book set is my own personal birthday present to me. I said this in a vlog, this is how I justify my purchases. Big purchases, when I try to buy them before my birthday or before Christmas, so I can say, oh, it's my own Christmas gift for myself. Oh, it's my own birthday gift for myself, because I give myself the best presents, because I can't wait to have them. So, and with this book set, I saw this, and I saw the delivery date when it was expected, and was like, this is a perfect birthday gift for myself, and I needed to be fast because I don't want to get it sold out. So it wasn't even like that I could text my family like, hey, I really wish to get this book set, can you please buy it for me for the birthday? So I just bought it for myself. And this is the Red Queen series from LitJoy. Really stunning. It's really heavy. It's the third editions I have of this book. I have the English ones here, and I have the German ones downstairs. I think I get rid of the German ones because I don't need to have the 3 editions of the book, and also I think the German editions are pretty ugly. So we have Red Queen. By the way, the first edition is signed by Victoria Aveyard, and there's also annotations from Victoria Aveyard in the book. So we have Red Queen with Mare. On the front cover we have Glassword with Cal on the front cover. We have King's Cage with Maven on the front cover. We have Warstorm with Evangeline in the front cover. And the last one, was just an explanation of how the world works, with Cal and Mare in front of the cover. The editions are beautiful. I'm so happy I bought them. They cost a penny, but I mean, at least there are 5 books in it. So if you, just for the fact how much you pay for a special edition for 1 book, I think the price is justified for 5 books, and it's pretty. There's also art inside the book, but I don't want to show them because might be a spoiler if you haven't read the Red Queen series yet, even though it's really old. But it's one of my favorites, so I'm happy I received them. I know it's just not a new book, but it's books and I love them. And the last book, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Yeah, what can I say? My whole 23 books I want to read in 2023 list that I haven't started yet. So just read them to you and you will make your own thoughts behind this, why I haven't studied it. Words of Radiance. I don't want to talk about this. I haven't read it yet. Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. Words of Radiance, by the way, is also by Brandon Sanderson. The rest I read. A Light in the Flame by Jennifer Armentrout. This is the 2nd book in the Flesh and Fire series. Don't worry, I will start it soon. Maybe. On Earth We Are Briefly Cautious by Ocean Wong. It's really short. I have no explanation why I haven't started yet. The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. Also no explanation why I haven't started yet. I would finish a series with it. The Stardust Thief, Jesse Abdullah. It's a book club pick. I will read it when the book club pick is there. Know My Name by Chanel Miller. I have no idea why I haven't started yet. A Legend 1, Tracy Dion. Please don't ask me why I haven't started yet. A Day of Fall Night. I don't want to talk about this book. I DNF'd it. Softly DNF'd it, but no. Beyond the One by Tom Felton. Don't know why I haven't started yet. It's a literary... Okay. The Bone Shot Emperor by Andrea Stott. Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Aldenton. The Poems of Emily Dickinson by Emily Dickinson. Twice Shy, Sarah. I could really start Twice Shy. It's a romance. And Girl in Pieces. Actually, I don't know if I want to read Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Gaslow. But yeah, this is the books that I still want to read. And this is my whole mid-year book freakout tag. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Let me know your answers in the comments below. I'm really excited to hear them. And then I will link everything in the description below. Could be a much. I try my best to link everything down below, okay? But it could be much in the description. But yeah, I really wish you a happy day, happy weekend whenever you watch this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!